Germain de Brie, sometimes Latinized as Germanus Brixius, was a Renaissance French humanist scholar and poet. He was closely associated with Erasmus and had a well-known literary feud with Thomas More. Early life. Germain de Brie was born in Auxerre, France, where he first studied law. He then traveled widely, becoming a college friend of Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa von Netzheim. From 1508 he studied under John Lascaris, at this time becoming a friend of Erasmus of Rotterdam. He was secretary of the Bishop of Albi, Louis de Amboise, and later of the French statesman Jean de Ganay. After the death of Jean de Ganay in 1512, de Brie sought the patronage of the French Queen Anne of Brittany, which he achieved by writing what became his most famous work, Cordillere Navis Conflagratio, a Latin poem about the recent destruction of the Breton flagship Cordillere in the Battle of St. Mathieu between the French and English fleets. It was translated into French for Anne by Pierre Choque. Controversy with Thomas More. The poem led to a literary controversy with the English scholar and statesman Sir Thomas More, in part because it contained criticisms of English leaders, but also because of its hyperbolic account of the bravery of the Breton captain Hervé de Portsmouga. In his epigrams addressed to de Brie, More ridiculed the poem's description of Hervé fighting indiscriminately with 4 weapons on a shield. Perhaps the fact slipped your mind, but your reader ought to have been informed in advance that Hervé had 5 hands. Stung by More's attacks, de Brie wrote an aggressive reply, the Latin verse satire Antimorus, including an appendix which contained a page-by-page listing of the mistakes in More's poems. Sir Thomas immediately wrote another hard-hitting pamphlet, Letter against Brixius, but Erasmus intervened to calm the situation, and persuaded More to stop the sale of the publication and let the matter drop. Later work. Appointed Archdeacon of Albi, de Brie also held other lucrative ecclesiastical posts along with the role of secretary to Queen Anne and almoner to the king. In 1522 de Brie returned to the study of Greek. He began translating into Latin the writings of the Greek theologian John Chrysostom, whose work he wished to make more readily available. Erasmus assisted him in this. Later, de Brie intervened in quarrels between Erasmus and other scholars, notably Guillaume Budet, occasioned by the publication of Erasmus's Ciceronianus. In 1536 he wrote an appreciative obituary for Erasmus. Works: Cordillere Navis Conflagratio, Paris 1513, Antimorus, Paris 1519. Epitaph in for Erasmus, in Catalogi duo operum Desideri Erasmi.